Okay, I should be talking now. So, full disclosure, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is just an idea I had last night, and I decided, screw it, I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. So, bear with me. I said in chat, there might be some technical difficulties, but hopefully we can persevere. Also, let me know if, my audio is garbage, or if you can't hear me or anything, or if the music gets too loud or way too soft. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me adjust my music a little bit. Okay. Cool beans. But yeah, so last night I, just had this idea that I've been wanting to do for a while. Fun little fact, I'm actually a theater major, and I graduated recently. I don't do acting or anything like that. I studied arts administration, but I very much love theater and stories. And I've always thought there would be, a great opportunity with live streaming to bring theater to people using technology and internet wizardry. Sort of following the legacy of radio plays and things like that from the 20s and 30s. Thank you for congratulating me on graduating. It was certainly a fun time in college doing stuff. This is a good tie-in. In my education with theater, my theater history class really focused on only a select, it's still a large amount of history, but we didn't really cover anything related to theater within the last 100 years. I guess they just assumed we would, learn that through osmosis from just doing stuff. And the more obscure things they wanted to teach us. And so, my theater education began, back with the Greeks, and ended after the English Reformation. So around late 1700s, early 1800s. And so there's a lot of history there that just wasn't covered. It was also very, centered around Western European countries and their theater, because that's just what dominates, theater. That's just the canon. And so I've always been curious about this play in particular. I heard about it a while ago, and I've never read it before, so I'm going in pretty blind. All I really know about it is just a little summary from the Wikipedia page. It's called Rossum's Universal Robots, is written by Karel Čapek, who was a Czech writer. And it is from most accounts that I've seen, a very important work in science fiction. Like I said in the description, this work actually gave us the word robot. If Wikipedia is to be trusted here, the word robot came from the Czech word for a serf or slave or something like that. And they thought it would be, the writer, Karel Čapek, thought it'd be pretty apt to name these sort of automata after that, using that word. And so, thus, we got this interesting word to describe artificial beings. And also, I picked this play because it is public domain, copyright 1923, and because of that, it was more than 96 years ago, and it's free to read and do whatever you want with it. So that's, some reasons why I decided to choose this. So, unless we have any objections, I'm just going to start rolling. I don't really know what's going to happen here. I'm just gonna read. Maybe I'll do funny voices for different people. but we're just gonna roll with it, okay? We're just gonna roll with it. So we got Rossum's Universal Robots, R.U.R. by Karel Čapek, English version by Paul Selver and Nigel Playfair, and they give you the original director settings costumes. And so, description of the characters. We have Doman, handsome man of 35, forceful, efficient, and humorous at times. We have Sola, a pathetic figure, young, pretty, and attractive. We have Marius, a young robot, superior to the general run of his kind, dressed in modern clothing. We have Helena Glory, a vital, sympathetic, handsome girl of 21. We have Dr. Gall, a tall, distinguished scientist of 50 years old. Mr. Fabry, a forceful, competent... If there isn't a giant robot 16, I'm going to write, we'll find out. Maybe there is one. Maybe that's why it's so revolutionary. The first, pornographic, stuff with robots ever. It was a real, is, prophetized, the internet nowadays. Maybe. Who knows? Where was I? Paul Meyer, an impressive man of 40, bald head and beard. Then we have Alquist, a stout, kindly old man of 60. We have Nana, a tall, sedulous woman of 40. Radius, a tall, forceful robot. We have Helena, a radiant young woman of 20. Primus, a good-looking young robot. Okay, maybe there is going to be a sex scene here. We got a good-looking robot. And then Note, all the robots wear expressionless faces and move with absolute mechanical precision, with the exception of Sola, Helena, and Primus, who convey a touch of humanity. And so, we begin. Act 1. Scene. Central office of the factory of Rossum's Universal Robots. Entrance right down right. The windows on the back wall look out on the endless roads of factory buildings. Door left down left. On the left wall, large maps showing steamship and railroad routes. On the right wall are fastened printed placards, robots' cheapest labor, etc. In contrast to these wall fittings, the floor is covered with splendid Turkish carpet. A couch right center, a bookshelf containing bottles of wine and spirits instead of books. Doman is sitting at his desk at left, dictating. Sulla is at the typewriter upstage against the wall. Oh, that's weird. Why hasn't that updated? That is very bizarre. Well, there's our first technical difficulty of the day. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why it never bothered to update, but let's see what I can do about that. Does this help? Let's find out. Let me know if it updates. I think it is updated now. There we go. Okay, wonderful. I'm sorry about that. There might be a little black bar on the bottom, but we're just going to roll with it. Like I said, this is just an experiment. Crap, where was I? Doman is sitting at his desk at left, dictating. Sola is at the typewriter upstage against the wall. There's a leather couch with arms right center. Okay, cool. It does appear to be working. At the extreme right, an armchair. At extreme left, a chair. There's also a chair in front of Doman's desk. 2 green cabinets across the upstage corners of the room complete the furniture. Doman's desk is placed up and down stage, facing right. Seen through the windows which run to the heights of the room are rows of factory chimneys, telegraph poles, and wires. There's a general passageway or hallway upstage at the right center, which leads to the warehouse. The robots are brought into the office through this entrance. Also, another disclaimer, if you want me to make the text bigger, let me know. If it's hard to read for some reason, but we're just gonna roll with it. Doman dictating. Ready? Sola, yes. E.M. Vicar in Southampton, England. We undertake no guarantee for goods damaged in transit. As soon as the consignment was taken on board, we drew your captain's attention to the fact that the vessel was unsuitable for the transportation of robots, and we are therefore not responsible for soiled freight. We beg to remain, for Rossum's Universal Robots, yours truly. Sola types the lines. Ready? Yes. Another letter. To the E.B. Hewson Agency, New York, USA. We beg to acknowledge receipt of order for 5,000 robots. As you are sending your own vessel, please dispatch as cargo equal quantities of soft and hard coal for R.U.R. The same to be credited as part payment, buzzer, so beep, of the amount due to us. Answering the phone. Hello, this is Central Office. Yes, certainly. Well, send them a wire. Good. Doman rises. We beg to remain for Rossum's Universal Robots, yours very truly. Ready? Yes. Doman answering small portable phone. Hello? Yes. No. Alright. Standing back of desk, punching plug machine and buttons. Another letter. Uh-oh, that's a funky word. Friedrichswerks, Hamburg, Germany. We beg to acknowledge receipt of order for 15,000 robots. Enter Marius. Well, what is it? There's a lady, sir, asking to see you. A lady? Who is she? I don't know, sir. She brings this card of introduction. Doman reading card. Ah, from President Glory. Ask her to come in. To Sola, crossing up to her desk, then back to his own. Where did I leave off? We beg to acknowledge receipt of order for 15,000 robots. 15,000. 15,000. Oh, thank you. I studied German in high school, but I didn't really I did well in it, but like, I don't remember anything about it. So, you know, I appreciate it. Thank you for complimenting my bastardized German pronunciation of things. Enter Helena, exit Marius right. How do you do? How do you do? What can I do for you? You are Mr. Doman, the general manager? I am. I have come with President Glory's card. That is quite sufficient. President Glory is my father. I am Helena Glory. Oh, please sit down, Sola. You may go. Oh, please sit down. Sola, you may go. Exit Sola left, sitting down left of desk. How can I be of service to you, Miss Glory? I have come to have a look at our famous works where people are manufactured, like all visitors. Well, there is no objection. I thought it was forbidden to enter the factory? Yes, of course. Everybody comes here with someone's visiting card, Miss Glory. And you show them only certain things. The manufacture of artificial people is a secret process. If you only knew how enormously that interests you, Europe's talking about nothing else. Why don't you let me finish speaking? I beg your pardon. Did you want to say something different? I only wanted to ask whether I could make a special exception in your case and show you our factory. Why, certainly, Miss Glory. I want to turn my monitor real quick, 1 second. How do you know I wanted to say that? They all do. We shall consider it a special honor to show you more than we do the rest. Oh, thank you. Standing. But you must agree not to divulge the least my word of honor. Thank you. Won't you raise your veil? Of course. You want to see whether I'm a spy or not, I beg your pardon. Leaning forward. What is it? Would you mind releasing my hand? Doman releasing it. Oh, I beg your pardon. How cautious you have been to be here, don't you? Why, yes, of course. We, that is, what is it? What's the matter? I'm remarkably pleased. Did you have a pleasant crossing? Yes? No difficulty? Why? What I meant to say is, you're so young. May we go straight to the factory? Yes, 22, I think. 22 what? Years. 21. Why do you want to know? Well, because as you will make a long stay, won't you? That depends on how much of the factory you show me. Oh, hang the factory. Oh, no, you shall see everything, Miss Glory. Indeed you shall. Won't you sit down? Up. They sit down on a couch. She sits, offers her cigarette from case at the end of sofa. She refuses. Thank you. But first, would you like to hear the story of the invention? Yes, indeed. So it was in the year 1920 that old Rossum, the great physiologist, who was then quite a young scientist, took himself to the distant island for the purpose of studying ocean fauna. Helena is amused. On this occasion, he attempted by chemical synthesis to imitate the living matter known as protoplasm, until he suddenly discovered a substance which behaved exactly like living matter, although its chemical composition was different. That was in the year 1932, exactly 440 years after the discovery of America. Whew. Did you know that by heart? Yes. See, physiology is not in my line. Shall I go on? Helena smelling flowers? Yes, please. It didn't update? God. Okay, how about... I guess I just can't full screen it. I think it has updated now, though. Yes, I think it should be updating in a second. You see, physiology is not in my line. Shall I go on? Yes, please. And then, Miss Glory, old Rossum wrote the following among his chemical experiments. Nature has found only one method of organizing living matter. There is, however, another method, more simple, flexible, and rapid, which has not yet occurred to nature at all. This second process by which life can be developed was discovered by me today. Now imagine, Miss Glory, writing these or those wonderful words over some colloidal mess that a dog wouldn't look at. Imagine him sitting over a test tube and thinking how the whole tree of life would grow from him, how all animals would proceed from it, beginning with some sort of a beetle and ending with a man of different substance from us. Miss Glory, that was a tremendous moment. Doman gets a box of candy from his desk and passes it to her. Well, as Helena speaks, Doman's portable phone lights up and he answers. Got cell phones, holy crap. Well, hello. Yes, no, I'm in a conference. Please don't disturb me. Well, now, the thing was how to get the life out of the test tubes, in hasten development, and form organs, bones, and nerves, and so on, and find such substances as catalytics, enzymes, hormones, in short. You understand. Not much, I'm afraid. Never mind. Doan leans over the couch and fixes cushion for her back. There. You see, with the help of his tinctures, he would make whatever he wanted. He could have produced a Medusa with the brain of a Socrates, or a worm 50 yards long. Helena laughs. He does also. He leans closer on couch and then straightens up again. But being without a grain of humor, he took into his head to make a vertebrate, or perhaps a man. This artificial living matter of his had a raging thirst for life. It didn't mind being sewn or mixed together. That couldn't be done with natural albumin. And that's how he set about it. And what? About imitating nature. First of all, he tried making an artificial dog. That took him several years and resulted in a sort of stunted calf which died in a few days. I'll show it to you in the museum. And then, old Rossum started on the manufacture of man. And I'm to divulge this to nobody? To nobody in the world. What a pity that it's to be discovered in all the school books. What a pity that it's to be discovered in all the school books of both Europe and America. They both laugh. Yes, but you know what isn't in the school books? That old Rossum was mad. Seriously, Miss Glory, you must keep this to yourself. The old crank wanted to actually make people. But you do make people. Approximately, Miss Glory. But old Rossum meant it literally. He wanted to become a sort of scientific substitute for God. He was a fearful materialist, and that's why he did it at all. His sole purpose was nothing more or less than to prove that God was no longer necessary. Doman crosses to the end of the couch. Do you know anything about anatomy? Very little. Neither do I. Well, he laughs. Haha. He then decided to manufacture everything as in the human body. I'll show you in the museum the bungling attempt it took him 10 years to produce. It was to have been a man, but it lived for 3 days only. Then up came young Rossum, an engineer. He was a wonderful fellow, Miss Glory. When he saw what a mess of it, the old man... then came young Rossum, an engineer. He was a wonderful fellow, Miss Glory. When he saw what a mess of it the old man was making, he said, "It's absurd to spend 10 years making a man. If you can't make him quicker than nature, you might as well shut up shop." Then he set about learning anatomy himself. There's nothing about that in the school books. Oh no, the school books are full of paid advertisements and rubbish and all that. What the school books say about the united efforts of the two great Rossums is a fairy tale. They used to have dreadful rows. The old atheists hadn't the slightest conception of industrial matters. And the end of it was that the young Rossum shut him up in some laboratory or other and let him fritter the time away with his monstrosities while he himself started on the business from an engineer's point of view. Old Rossum cursed him. Before he died, he managed to botch up 2 physiological horrors. Then one day, they found him dead in the laboratory. And that's his whole story. And what about the young man? Doman sits beside her on the couch. Well, anyone who has looked into human anatomy has seen at once that man is too complicated and that a good engineer could make him more simply. So young Rossum began to overhaul anatomy to see what could be left out or simplified. In short, but this is boring you, isn't it, Miss Glory? No, indeed. It's awfully interesting. Doman gets closer. So, young Rossum said to himself, "A man is something that feels happy, plays the piano, likes going for a walk, and, in fact, wants to do a whole lot of things that are really unnecessary." Oh. That are unnecessary when he wants... Doman takes her hand. Boing boing. Let us say, to weave or count. Do you play the piano? Yes. That's good. He kisses her hand. She lowers her head. Oh, I beg your pardon. Doman rises. But a working machine must not play the piano. Must not feel happy. Must do a whole lot of other things. A gasoline motor must have tassels or ornaments, Miss Glory. And to manufacture artificial workers is the same thing as the manufacture of a gasoline motor. Miss Glory is not interested. The process must be the simplest and the product the best from a practical point of view. Doman sits beside her again. Boing boing. What sort of worker do you think is best from a practical point of view. Helena, absently. What? Looking at him. What sort of worker do you think is the best from a practical point of view? Helena pulls herself together. Perhaps the one who is most honest and hardworking. No. The one that is the cheapest. The one whose requirements are the smallest. Young Rossum invented a worker with the minimum amount of requirements. He had to simplify him. He rejected everything that did not contribute directly to the progress of work. Everything that makes man more expensive. In fact, he rejected man and made the robot. My dear Miss Glory, the robots are not people. Mechanically, they are more perfect than we are. They have an enormously developed intelligence, but they have no soul. How do you know they have no soul? Have you ever seen what a robot looks like inside? No. Very neat, very simple. Really, a beautiful piece of work. Not much in it, but everything in flawless order. The product of an engineer is technically at a higher pitch of perfection than a product of nature. But man is supposed to be the product of God. All the worse, God hasn't the slightest notion of modern engineering. Would you believe that young Rossum then proceeded to play at being God? How do you mean? He began to manufacture super robots. Regular giants they were. He tried to make them 12 feet tall, but you wouldn't believe what a failure they were. A failure? Yes, for no reason at all, their limbs used to keep snapping off. Evidently, our planet is too small for giants. Now, we only make robots of normal size and of very high-class human finish. Helena hands him a flower. He puts it in a buttonhole. I saw the first robots at home. The town council brought them engaged them for work. No. Bought them, Miss Glory. Robots are bought and sold. These were employed as street sweepers. I saw them sweeping. They were so strange and quiet. Doman rises. Rossum's Universal Robot Factory doesn't produce a uniform brand of robots. We have robots of finer and of coarser grades. The best will live about 20 years. Doman crosses to desk. Helena looks in her pocket mirror. He pushes button on his desk. Then they die? Yes, they get used up. Marius enters, stage right. Doman crosses to stage center. Marius, bring in samples of the manual labor robot. Exit Marius, right center. I'll show you specimens of the two extremes. The first grade is comparatively inexpensive and is made in vast quantities. Marius re-enters right center with two manual labor robots. Marius is left center, robots right center, Doman at his desk. Marius stands on tiptoes, touches head, feels arms, forehead of one of the robots. They come to a mechanical standstill. There you are, as powerful as a small tractor, guaranteed to have average intelligence. That will do, Marius. Marius exits right center with the robots. They make me feel so strange. Doman crosses to his desk, rings. Did you see the new typist? I didn't notice her. Enter Sola left. She crosses and stands center, facing Helena, who is still sitting in the couch. Helena looks at Doman, and rising crosses a step, stage center. Or center stage, or whatever it is. So pleased to meet you. Helena looks at Doman. You must find it terribly dull in this out-of-the-way spot, don't you? Sola says, I don't know, Miss Glory. Where do you come from? The factory. Oh, were you born there? I was made there. What? Helena looks at Sola, then back at Doman. Sola is a robot, Helena. Best grade. Oh, I beg your pardon. Doman crosses over to Sola. Sola isn't angry. See, Miss Glory, the kind of skin we make. Feel her face. Doman touches Sola's face. Oh, no, no. Doman examines Sola's hand. You wouldn't know that she's made of different material from us, would you? Turn around, Sola. Sola turns around and circles twice. Oh, stop. Talk to Miss Glory, Sola. Doman examines the hair of Sola. Please sit down. Helena sits on the couch. Did you have a pleasant crossing? Sola fixes her hair. Oh, yes, certainly. Don't go back on the Amelia, Miss Glory. The barometer is falling steadily. Wait for the Pennsylvania. That's a good, powerful vessel. What's its speed? 40 knots an hour. 3,000 tons. One of the latest vessels, Miss Glory. Oh, thank you. A crew of 1,500. Captain Harpy, 8 boilers. That'll do it, Sola. Now, show us your knowledge of French. You know French? Oui, madame. I know 4 languages. I can write, dear sir, monsieur, Gerte Herr. I don't even know what that language is. So I'm going to skip that. Helena jumps up and crosses over to Sola. Oh, that's absurd. Sola isn't a robot. Sola's a girl like me. Sola, this is outrageous. Why do you take part in such a hoax? I am a robot. No. You are not telling the truth. Helena catches the amused expression on Doman's face. I know they have forced you to do it for an advertisement. Sola, you are a girl like me, aren't you? Looks at Doman. I'm sorry, Miss Glory, but Sola is a robot. It's a lie. What? Doman pushes a button on his desk. Well then, I must convince you. Enter Marius right center. He stands just inside the door. Marius takes Sola into the dissecting room and tell them to open her up at once. Marius moves toward center. Where? Where? Into the dissecting room. When they've cut her open, you can go and have a look. Marius makes a start toward Sola. Helena stopping Marius. No! Excuse me, you spoke of lies. You spoke of lies? You wouldn't have her killed. You can't kill machines, Sola. You can't kill machines, Sola. Marius one step forward, one arm out. Sola makes a move toward the door. Oh yeah, it would be really, really spooky, my friend. It's really interesting because, like, it seems like these aren't robots in the strictest sense. Like, it seems like they're more like Blade Runner type androids or like Westworld hosts or something. And so it's really interesting how, you know, newer media just sort of borrows. It seems like they're just borrowing ideas from this play almost. Don't be afraid, Sola. I won't let you go. Tell me, my dear. Helena takes Sola's hand. Are they always so cruel to you? You mustn't put up with it, Sola. You mustn't. I am a robot. That doesn't matter. Robots are just as good as we are. Sola, you wouldn't let yourself be cut to pieces. Yes. She takes her hand away. And you're not afraid of death, then? I cannot tell, Miss Glory. Do you know what would happen to you in there? Yes, I would cease to move. How dreadful. Helena looks at Sola. Marius, tell Miss Glory what you are. Doman turns to Helena. Helena? Marius, the robot. Would you take Sola into the dissecting room? Yes. Would you be sorry for her? I cannot tell. What would happen to her? She would cease to move. They would put her into the stamping mill. That is death, Marius. Aren't you afraid of death? No. You see, Miss Glory, the robots have no interest in life. They have no enjoyments. They're less than so much grass. Oh, stop. Please send them away. Doman pushes a button on his desk. Marius, Sola, you may go. Marius pivots and exits. Right, Sola exits left. How terrible. He goes to center. It's outrageous what you were doing. Doman takes Helena's hand. Why outrageous? His hand over hers, laughing. I don't know, but it is. Why do you call her Sola? Isn't it a nice name? He takes his hand away. It's a man's name. Sola was a Roman general. What? Oh, ha ha ha. We thought that Marius and Sola were lovers. Marius and Sola were generals and fought against each other in the year... I've forgotten now. Come here to the window. What? Come here. Do you see anything? He takes her arm. He's on his right. Bricklayers. Robots. All our work people are robots. And down there, can you see anything? Some sort of office? A counting house. And in it, a lot of officials? Robots. All our officials are robots. And when you see the factory, the noon whistle blows. I don't know, that's close enough. Helena is scared and puts her arm on Doman. Doman laughs. If we don't blow the whistle, the robots won't stop working. In 2 hours, I'll show you the kneading trough. Both of them come down stage. Helena is left center, Doman is right center, arm in arm. Kneading trough? The pestle for beating up the paste. In each one, we mix the ingredients for 1,000 robots at one operation. Then, there are the vats for preparation of liver, brains, and so on. Then you will see the bone factory. After that, I'll show you the spinning mill. Spinning mill? Yes, for weaving nerves and veins. Miles and miles of digestive tubes pass through it at a time. Mayn't we talk about something else? Perhaps it would be better. There's only a handful of us among 100,000 robots, and not one woman. We talk nothing but the factory all day and every day. It's just as if we were under a curse, Miss Glory. I'm sorry, I said that you were lying. A knock on the door right. Come in. Doman is center. From stage right enter Dr. Gall, Dr. Fabry, Alquist, and Dr. Hallmeyer. All act formal, conscious. All click heels as introduced. Dr. Gall says noisily, I beg your pardon, I hope we don't intrude. No, come in, Miss Glory. Come in. Miss Glory, here are Gall, Fabry, Alquist, Hallmeyer. This is President Glory's daughter. All of them move to her and shake her hand. How do you do? Oh, we had no idea. Highly honored, I'm sure. Welcome, Miss Glory. Hello, what's up? Come in, Busman. This is President Glory's daughter. This is Busman, Miss Glory. By Jove, that's fine. All of them click heels. He crowds in and shakes her hand. Miss Glory, may we send a cablegram to the papers about your arrival? No, please don't. Sit down, please, Miss Glory. On the line, sit down, please. All 6 men try to find her a chair at once. Helena goes for a chair at the extreme left. Doman takes the chair at the front desk, places it in center stage. Hallmeyer gets chair at Sola's typewriter and places it to right of chair at center. Busman gets armchair from extreme right, but by now Helena has sat in it, or in Doman's preferred chair at center. All sit except for Doman. Busman at right in armchair, Hallmeyer right of Helena. Fabry in swivel chair, back of desk. Allow me, please, excuse me. What sort of crossing did you have? Are you going to stay long? The men are conscious of their appearance. Alquist's trousers are turned up at the bottom. He turns them down. Busman polishes his shoes. Others fix ties, collars, etc. What did you think of the factory, Miss Glory? Did you come over on the Amelia? Be quiet and let Miss Glory speak. The men sit erect. Doman stands at Helena's left. What am I supposed to speak to them about? The men look at one another. Anything you like. Helena looks at Doman. May I speak to you quite frankly? Why, of course. Helena to others, wavering, then in desperate resolution. Tell me, doesn't it ever distress you the way that you're treated? By whom, you might ask? By everybody. Treated? There we go. What makes you think, don't you feel that you might be living a better life? Pause. All of them are confused. Well, that depends on what you mean, Miss Glory. I mean that it's perfectly outrageous. It's terrible. Helena stands up. The whole of Europe is talking about the way you're being treated. That's why I came here, to see for myself. And it's 1,000 times worse than I could have ever imagined. How can you put up with it? Put up with what? Good heavens, you are living creatures just like us, like the whole of Europe, like the whole world. It's disgraceful that you must live like this. Good gracious, Miss Glory. Well, she's not far wrong. We live here just like Red Indians. Worse than Red Indians. Oh, we're talking about Indians, apparently. May I call you brothers? Why not? Helena looks at Doman. Brothers, I have not come here as the president's daughter. I have come here on behalf of the Humanity League. Brothers, the Humanity League now has over 200,000 members. 200,000 people are on your side and offer you help. She taps the back of a chair. 200,000 people, Miss Glory. That's a tidy lot, not bad. Always tell you there's nothing good like old Europe. You see, they've not forgotten us. They're offering us help. What kind of help? A theater, for instance? An orchestra? More than that. Just you? Oh, never mind about me. I'll stay as long as it is necessary. They all look in delight. By Jove, that's good. Doman, I'm going to get the best room ready for Miss Glory. Just a minute. I'm afraid that Miss Glory is of the opinion that she has been talking to robots. Of course. All the men laugh. I'm sorry, these gentlemen are human beings just like us. You're not robots? They all say that they're not robots together. No robots. Robots indeed. No thanks, upon my honor, Miss Glory, we aren't robots. Then why did you tell me that all your officials are robots? Yes, the officials, but not the managers. Allow me, Miss Glory. This is Consul Busman, General Business Manager. This is Dr. Fabry, General Technical Manager. Dr. Hallmeyer, Head of the Institute for the Psychological Training of Robots. Dr. Gall, Head of the Psychological and Experimental Department of blah blah blah. And Alquist, Head of the Building Department. R.U.R. As they are all introduced, they rise and come to center, kiss her hand, except for Gall and Alquist, whom Doman pushes away. They babble generally. Just a builder. Let's sit down. Excuse me, gentlemen. Have I done something dreadful? Not at all, Miss Glory. Allow me, Miss Glory, handing her flowers. Thank you. Oh, please, Miss Glory. Fabry handing her candy. Will you have a cigarette, Miss Glory? No, thank you. Do you mind if I do? Certainly not. Well, now, Miss Glory, it's certainly nice to have you with us. Helena, seriously. But you know, I've come to disturb your robots for you. Westman pulls chair closer. Doman, mocking her serious tone. My dear Miss Glory. Well, we've had close upon 100 saviors and prophets here. Every ship brings us some. Missionaries, anarchists, Salvation Army, all sorts. It's astounding what a number of churches and idiots there are in this world. And yet you let them speak to the robots. So far we've let them. Why not? The robot remembers everything, but that's all. They don't even laugh at what people say. I think they're I don't know. I think they're actually having cigarettes. I don't know if they're called candy. Sorry if I wasn't expressly clear with my reading of stage directions. The robot remembers everything, but that's all. They don't even laugh at what the people say. Really, it's quite incredible. I'm a stupid girl. Send me back to by the first ship. Not for anything in the world, Miss Glory. Why should we send you back? If it would amuse you, Miss Glory, I'll take you down to the robot warehouse. It holds about 300,000 of them. 347,000. Good, and you can say whatever you like to them. You can read them the Bible, recite the multiplication table, whatever you please. You can even preach to them about human rights. Oh, I think that if you were to show them a little love... Impossible, Miss Glory. Nothing is harder to like than a robot. Why do you make them for... Or what do you make them for, then? Haha, that's good. What are robots made for? For work, Miss Glory. One robot can replace 2.5 workmen. The human machine, Miss Glory, was terribly imperfect. It had to be removed sooner or later. It was too expensive. It was not effective. It no longer answers to the requirements of modern engineering. Nature has no idea of keeping pace with modern labor. For example, from a technical point of view, the whole of childhood is a sheer absurdity. So much time lost. And then again, oh no. Pardon me. What is the real aim of your league, the Humanity League? Its real purpose is to protect the robots and to ensure good treatment for them. Not a bad object either. A machine has to be treated properly. Fabry leans in. I don't like damaged articles. Please, Miss Glory, enroll us all members of your league. All the men chant, yes, yes. No, you don't understand me. What we really want to do is to liberate the robots. Helena looks at all the others. How do you propose to do that? They are to be dealt with like human beings. Also, there are a bunch of characters on screen. I hope that I'm doing, not on screen, that are in this scene. So I hope that I'm doing an okay job differentiating Helena from Doman and then all the other scientists. If you're confused, please let me know, and I'll try to make it more clear somehow. Let's see here. I suppose they're devout to drink beer to order us about. Why shouldn't they drink beer? Perhaps they're even to receive wages. Looking at other men, amused. Of course they are. Fancy that. Now, and what would you do with their wages? Pray? Or what would they do with their wages, pray? They would buy what they want, what pleases them. That would be very nice, Miss Glory, only there's nothing that does please the robots. Good heavens, what are they to buy? You can feed them on pineapple straw, whatever you like. It's all the same to them. They've no appetite at all. They've no interest in anything. Why hang it all? Nobody's ever seen a robot smile. Why don't you make them happier? That wouldn't do, Miss Glory. They are only workmen. Oh, but they're so intelligent. Confoundedly so, but they're nothing else. They've no will of their own. No soul, no passion. No love? Love. Rather not. Robots don't love. Not even themselves. No defiance? Defiance? I don't know. Only rarely from time to time. What happens then? Nothing particular. Occasionally they seem to go off their heads. Something like epilepsy, It's called robot's cramp. They'll suddenly sling down everything they're holding, stand up still, gnash their teeth, and then they have to go into the stamping mill. It's evidently some breakdown in their mechanisms. A flaw in the works that has to be removed. No, that's the soul. Do you think that the soul first shows itself by a gnashing of teeth? All the men chuckle. Perhaps it's just a sign that there's a struggle within. Perhaps it's a sort of revolt. Oh, if you could infuse them with it. That'll be remedied, Miss Glory. Dr. Gall is just making some experiments. Not with regard to that, Thoman. At present, I'm making pain nerves. Pain nerves? Yes, the robots feel practically no bodily pain. You see, young Rossum provided them with too limited a nervous system. We must introduce suffering. Why do you want to cause them pain? For industrial reasons, Miss Glory. Sometimes a robot does damage to himself because it doesn't hurt him. He puts his hand into the machine. He describes it with a gesture. He breaks his finger. Describes it with a gesture. Smashes his head. It's all the same to him. We must provide them with pain. That's an automatic protection against damage. Will they be happier when they feel pain? On the contrary, but they will be more perfect from a technical point of view. Why don't you just create a soul for them? That is not within our power. That is not within our interest. That would increase the cost of production. Think it all, my dear young lady. We turned them out at such a cheap rate, $150 each, fully dressed, and 15 years ago they cost $10,000. 5 years ago... Oh. What, adding pain receptors to robots? I mean, I guess it is a good idea if you're a capitalist trying to squeeze whatever you can out of workers, you know? That would increase the cost of production. Hang it all, my dear young lady. We turned them out at such a cheap rate, $150 each, fully dressed, and 15 years ago they cost $10,000. 5 years ago, we used to buy clothes for them. Today, we have our own weaving mill, and now we even export cloth 5 times cheaper than other factories. What do you pay for a yard of cloth, Miss Glory? Helena looks at Doman. I don't know, I've really forgotten. Good gracious, and you want to found a humanity league? They all chuckle. It only costs a third now, Miss Glory. All prices are today a third of what they were, and they'll still fall lower, like that. I don't understand. Why, bless you, Miss Glory, it means that the cost of labor has fallen. A robot food mill costs 3/4 of a cent per hour. That's mighty important, you know. All factories will go pop like chestnuts if they don't at once buy robots to lower the cost of production. And get rid of all their workmen? Of course, but in the meantime we've dumped 500,000 tropical robots down the Argentine pampas to court. But would you mind telling me how much you pay for a pound of bread? I've no idea. They all smile. Well, I'll tell you, it costs 2 cents in good old Druff. A pound of bread for 2 cents. And the Humanity League, designates Helena, knows nothing about it. To the rest of the men, Miss Glory, you don't realize that even that is too expensive. They all chuckle. Why, in 5 years' time, I'll wager... What? That the cost of everything will be 1/10 of what it is today. Like, in 5 years, we'll end up with... we'll be up to our ears in corn and everything else. Yes, and the workers throughout the world will be unemployed. Doman seriously rises. Yes, Alquist, they will. Yes, Miss Glory, they will. But in 10 years, Rossum's universal robots will produce so much corn, so much cloth, so much everything, that things will be practically without price. There will be no poverty. All work will be done by living machines. Everybody will be free from worry and liberated from the degradation of labor. Everybody will live only to perfect himself. Will he? Of course it's bound to happen. Then the servitude of man to man and the enslavement of man to matter will cease. Nobody will get bread at the cost of life and hatred. The robots will wash the feet of the beggar and prepare a bed for him in his house. Doman, what you say sounds too much like paradise. There has to be something good, or there was something good in service, and something great in humility. There was some kind of virtue in toil and weariness. Perhaps, but we cannot reckon with what is lost when we start out to transform the world. Man shall be free and supreme. He shall have no other aim, no other labor, no other care than to perfect himself. He shall serve neither matter nor man. He will not be a machine and a device for production. He will be Lord of creation. Amen. So be it. Helena rises. You have bewildered me. I should like to believe this. You are younger than we are, Miss Glory. You will live to see it. True. Don't you think, Miss Glory, that you might have lunch with us? All the men rise. Of course, Doman. Ask her on behalf of us all. Miss Glory, will you do us the honor? When you know why I've come? For the League of Humanity, Miss Glory. In that case, perhaps... That's fine. Miss Glory, excuse us for 5 minutes. Thank you. I'll be back soon. I'll be back in exactly 5 minutes. What have they all gone for? To cook, Miss Glory. To cook what? Lunch. Doman laughs, takes her hand. Robots do our cooking for us, and as they've no taste, it's not altogether. Hellmeyer is awfully good at grills, and Gall can make any kind of sauce, and Busman knows all about omelets. What a feast! And what's the specialty of Mr. your builder? Alquist? Nothing. He only lays the table. And Fabry will get together a little fruit. Our cuisine is very modest, Miss Glory. I wanted to ask you something. And I wanted to ask you something too. They'll be back in 5 minutes. What did you want to ask me? Excuse me, but you asked first. Perhaps it's silly me, but why do you manufacture female robots when sex means nothing to them? Yes. There's a certain demand for them, you see. Servants, saleswomen, stenographers. People are used to it. But tell me, are the robots, male and female, mutually, completely indifferent to each other, Miss Glory? There's no sign of affection between them at all. Oh, that's terrible. Why? It's so unnatural. One doesn't know whether to be distinguished or to hate them, or perhaps to pity them. That's more like it. What did you want to ask me? I should like to ask you, Miss Helena, if you will marry me. What? Okay, maybe there will be a sex scene coming up. We got, first comes love, then comes marriage. Wink, wink. Will you marry me? Will you be my wife? No, the idea. Doman looks at his watch. Another 3 minutes. If you don't marry me, you'll have to marry one of the other 5. But why would I? Because they're all going to ask you in turn. Helena crosses to him, left center. How could they dare do such a thing? I'm very sorry, Miss Glory, but it seems that they've fallen in love with you. Please don't let them. I'll go away at once. She starts right, but he stops her with his arms up. Helena. She backs away to his desk. He follows. You wouldn't be so cruel as to refuse us. But I can't marry all 6. No, but 1 anyhow. If you don't want me, marry a Fabry. I won't. Ah, but Dr. Gall, I don't want any of you. Oh, we got another 2 minutes. Doman pleads, looking at his watch. I think you'd marry any woman who came here. Plenty of them have come, Helena. Young? Yes. Why didn't you marry any of them? Because I didn't lose my head. Until today, then as soon as you lifted your veil. Another minute. But I don't want you, I tell you. Doman lays both of his hands on her shoulder. 1 more minute. Now you have either to look me straight in the eye and say no violently, and then I leave you alone, or... Helena looks at him. He takes hand away. She takes his hand again. You're mad. A man has to be a bit mad, Helena. That's the best thing about him. He draws her to him. You are... Well, don't. You're hurting me. The last chance, Helena. Now or never. But... He embraces her, he kisses her, she embraces him. There's a knocking at the door. That's... I don't think this Doman fella is a good guy. I just got a little inkling, a little... It just, I just get that vibe from him. There's a knocking at the door. Doman releases her. Come in. And then she lays her head on his shoulder. Enter Busman, Gall, and Hallmeyer in kitchen aprons, Fabrian with a bouquet, and Alquist with a napkin under his arm. Have you finished your job? Yes. And so have we. He embraces her, men rush around them and offer congratulations. Well, I guess they're getting married. That's the end of Act 1. Interesting. Does anyone have any thoughts so far? In all honesty, I thought this is... I thought it was going to be sort of... Yeah, it is a yikes. I was not expecting that. I was going into this blind, so I had no idea that was happening. I had a feeling it was going to be a bit up its own ass about, like trying to shove themes about humanity and whatever down our throats, but I think they did it in a very, very interesting way. They lead you in a way that doesn't feel, super pedantic. Is that the word? I don't know. But yeah, full disclosure, sexual assault here. All this. This is not good. I do not advocate for this. This kind of made me think about how we would treat robots if they would become this self-aware. Yeah. Well, I don't even know. I like how Doman sort of plays this game where, like, he tricks her into thinking certain people are robots. And it's like, oh, actually they're not. Okay. Should we, It's okay, Aiden. We all make mistakes. I was hoping for a happier ending to Act 1, but that's just how the ball bounces sometimes. Okay. We're 38% through this play. Let's go on to Act 2. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. This text. Okay, that's a little nicer. Whew. Whew, okay. Okay, I got some water. I've reflected a little bit. I'm intrigued. I see that we're gonna flash forward 10 years. Also, if the mixing of the audio is weird, or if, like, I don't sound very good, please let me know. Or if the music's too loud or too soft or whatever. But I will try to make this as pleasant an experience to you all. Okay. So, I'm just going to start now. Act 2. Scene. We're in Helena's drawing room, 10 years later. The skeleton framework of Act 1 is still used. Tall windows put in the back instead of Act 1 windows. Still shutters. I don't think that matters all that much. Blah blah blah. The furniture consists of a reading table at left center covered with magazines, a chair to the left of the table. In front of the table is an armchair covered with chintz? I don't know what that is. A couch right center and back of blah blah blah. Okay, that's good to know. A couch right center and back of it is a small table with books and bookends. On this table, a small reading lamp right between doorway and fireplace. A small table. There's a work basket upon it with pincushion, needles, etc. There's a couch, an armchair used by Alquist. Left the fireplace. There's another chair. Writing desk. There's a lamp. Walls of the room have been covered with silk. Blah 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 blah. 2 French windows open. Blah blah blah. At the rise, they were open. Blah blah blah. Balcony. Same telegraph wires and poles from Act 1 are visible through the window. Binoculars on desk upstaged by television. It's about 9 in the morning and sunlight streams into the room through the open windows. Yeoman opens the door, stage left, and tiptoes in. He carries a potted plant. He beckons the others to follow him, and Hallmeyer and Fabry enter. Both carry a potted plant. Okay, we got a lot of plants. Yeoman places flowers on the library table and goes to write and looks toward Helena's bedroom. Oh, okay. Also, I'm just, for all the scientists and stuff, all like the manager people like Hallmeyer and Fabry and everything, I'm just like making up voices as I go along. So apologies if the voices aren't actually consistent, but to me, it seems like they're designed to be indistinguishable from each other, at least mildly. So if their voices, ever completely change, that's why. Just wanted to disclose that. So we begin with Hallmeyer putting down his flowers on the left center table and indicates the door to the right. Still asleep? Yes. Well, as long as she's asleep, she can't worry about it. Hallmeyer remains at the left center table. She knows nothing about it. Fabry puts plant on writing desk. I certainly hope nothing happens today. I don't know if that lisp is it. But, we're just gonna roll with it. For heaven's sakes, drop it all. Look, this is a fine cyclamen? Isn't it? A new sort. My latest, Cyclamen Helena. Doman picks up binoculars and goes out into the balcony. No signs of the ship. Things must be pretty bad. Quiet, suppose she heard you. Doman comes into the room, puts glasses on desk. Well, anyway, the Ultimus arrived just in time. You really think that today? No, I don't know. He crosses to the left center table. Aren't the flowers fine? Hallmeyer fondles the flowers. These are my primroses, and this is my new jasmine. I've discovered a wonderful way of developing flowers quickly. Splendid varieties, too. Next year, I'll be developing marvelous ones. What next year? I'd give a good deal to know what's happening at Havre with... Oh? Helena, off right. Nana? Keep quiet. She's awake. Out you go. All of them go out and tiptoe through the left door. Enter Nana. Stage left. Nana? Horrid mess. Peck of heathens. If I had my say, Nana, come and do up my dress. I'm coming. So you're up at last. Fastening Hella's dress. My gracious, what brutes. Ooh. If you want to turn around, then turn around, but I shan't fasten you up. What are you grumbling about? Those dreadful creatures, those heathens. Helena turning toward Nana again. The robots? I wouldn't even call them by name. What happened? Another of them here was caught it. Another of them here has caught it. Began to smash up the statues and pictures in the drawing rooms, gnashed his teeth, foamed at the mouth worse than an animal. Which of them caught it? The one, well, he hasn't got any Christian name. The one in charge of the library. Radius? Oh, that's him. My goodness, I'm scared of them. The spider doesn't scare me as much as them. But, Nana, I'm surprised you're not sorry for them. Why, you're scared of them too. You know you are. Why else did you bring me here? I'm not scared, really. I'm not, Nana. I'm only sorry for them. You're scared. Nobody could help being scared. Why, the dog's scared of them. He won't take a scrap of meat out of their hands. He draws in his tail and howls when he knows they're about. Well, the dog has no sense. He's better than them, and he knows it. The horse shies when he meets them. They don't have any young, and a dog has young. Everyone has young. Please fasten my dress, Nana. I say it's against God's will to... What is it that smells so nice? Flowers? What for? Now you can turn around. Oh, aren't they lovely? Look, Nana, what's happening today? It ought to be the end of the world. Enter Doman, stage left. He crosses down to the front of table left center. Helena crosses to him. Oh, hello, Harry. Nana turns upstage to left. Harry, why all these flowers? Yes. The scene is played down in front of left center table. Well, it's not my birthday. Better than that. I don't know. Tell me. It's 10 years ago today since you came here. 10 years? Today? Why, they embrace. Nana mutters to herself, I'm off. She exits left. Fancy you remembering. I'm really ashamed, Helena. I didn't. But you... They remembered. Who? Oh, Busman, Hallmeyer. All of them. Put your hand in my pocket. Helena takes necklace from his left jacket pocket. Oh, pearls. A necklace. Harry, is this for me? It's from Busman. But we can't accept it, can we? Oh, yes, we can. Puts necklace on table, left center. Put your hand in the other pocket. Helena takes a revolver out of his right pocket. We got guns in this play. Okay. What's that? Sorry, not that. Try again. He puts gun back into his pocket. A little awkward. Had a gun in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me, Harry? Oh, Harry, why do you carry a revolver? It got there by mistake. You never used to carry one. No, you're right. It indicates breast pocket. There, that's the pocket. She takes out a cameo. A cameo? Why, it's a great cameo. Apparently, anyhow. Fabry says it is. Fabry, did Mr. Fabry give me that? Of course. Yeoman opens left door. And look in here, Helena. Come and see this. Both exit left. Or stage left. Off stage left. Oh, isn't it fine? Is this from you? No, this is from Alquist. Yeah, did you like the gun? That was a real that was a real oof moment. And there's another one on the piano. This must be from you. There's a card on it. From Dr. Gall. They reappear in the stage left doorway. Oh, Harry, I feel embarrassed at so much kindness. Doman enters to upstage right of table left center. Come here. This is what Hallmeyer brought you. These beautiful flowers? Yes, it's a new kind. Cyclamen Helena. He grew them in honor of you. They are almost as beautiful as you. Helena kisses him. Harry, why do they all... They're awfully fond of you. I'm afraid that my present is a little, Look at the window. He crosses to window and beckons her to follow. Where? They go out onto the balcony. Into the harbor. There's a new ship. That's your ship. Mine? What do you mean? Doman says, for you to take trips in. For your amusement. Harry, that's a gunboat. A gunboat? What are you thinking of? It's only a little bigger and more solid than most ships. Yes, but with guns. Oh yes, a few guns. You'll travel like a queen, Helena. What's the meaning of it? Has anything happened? Oh, good heavens, no. I say, try these pearls. Okay, there's something going on here. We got gun in pocket. We got gunboat. Like battleship. They're playing battleship in the harbor. This is fascinating. Harry, have you any bad news? On the contrary, no letters have arrived for a whole week. No telegrams? Helena comes back into the room. No telegrams. What does that mean? Holidays for us. We all sit in the office with our feet on the table and take a nap. No letters, no telegrams. Glorious. Then you'll stay with me today? Certainly. He embraces her. That is, we will see. Do you remember 10 years ago today? He crosses to left of table left center. Miss Glory, it's a great honor to welcome you. They assume the same positions as when they first met 10 years ago in Doman's office. Table, oh, Mr. Manager, I'm so interested in your factory. Oh god. I'm sorry, Miss Glory, it's strictly forbidden. The manufacture of artificial people is a secret. But to oblige the young lady who has come such a long way... Certainly, Miss Glory, I have no secrets from you. Are you sure, Harry? Leaning on desk, seriously, his hand on hers. You know, maybe a gunboat is like... You know how 1 year it's supposed to be paper for your anniversary, or 1 year it's supposed to be gold? I forget what it is, or like wood. Maybe 1 year for your anniversary it's supposed to be like a gunboat. Maybe that's the missing thing. Or maybe it's just a cultural thing. Maybe people in Eastern Europe do it. Who knows? Also, this scene, I don't like the sexual tension. It's weird being, you know, sexually tense with oneself playing two characters, but... You know, I'll try my best here. See how it goes. Certainly, Miss Glory, I have no secrets from you. Are you sure, Harry? Leaning on desk, seriously, his hand on hers. Yes. They gradually draw apart. But I warn you, sir, this young lady intends to do terrible things. Good gracious, Miss Glory, perhaps she doesn't want to marry me. Heaven forbid, she never dreamt of such a thing, but she came here intending to stir up a revolt among your robots. A revolt of the robots? Harry, what's the matter with you? Doman, laughing it off. A revolt of the robots? That's a fine idea. Crosses to the back of the table. He watches him suspiciously. Miss Glory, it would be easier for you to cause bolts and screws to rebel than our robots. You know, Helena, you're wonderful. You've turned the hearts of us all. Still on the table. Oh, I was fearfully impressed by you all then. You were all so sure of yourself, so strong. I seemed like a tiny little girl who would lust her way among what? Among huge trees. All my feelings were trifling compared with your self-confidence. And in all these years, I've never lost this anxiety, but you've never felt the least misgiving, not even when everything went wrong. What went wrong? Your plans. Remember, Harry, when the workmen in America revolted against the robots and smashed them up, and the people gave the robots firearms against the rebels, and then the governments turned the robots into soldiers, and there were so many wars. Good God, a lot of shit has happened in the last 10 years. Exposition. Doman getting up and walking about. We foresaw that, Helena. Around the table, right center. You see, these are only passing troubles which are bound to happen before the new conditions are established. He walks up and down, standing at center. You were all so powerful and overwhelming. The whole world bowed down before you. Oh, Harry! Crosses to him. What is it? Close the factory and let's go away. All of us. I say, what's the meaning of this? I don't know, but can't we just go away? Impossible, Helena. That is, at this particular moment. At once, Harry, I'm so frightened. About what, Helena? It's as if something was falling on top of us and couldn't be stopped. Oh, take us all away from here. We'll find a place in the world where there's no one else. All Chris will build us a house and then we'll begin life all over again. The telephone rings. Bring, 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 bring. It's a pretty good telephone. Doman crosses to the telephone on desk up left. Excuse me? Hello? Yes. What? I'll be there at once. Link, Fabry's called me, dear. He crosses left. Tell me. Helena rushes up to Doman. Yes, when I come back, don't go out of the house, dear. Doman exits left. You won't tell me. Nana brings in a water carafe? Carafe? I've never seen that word before. If any of you are super curious about that word, I would be very thankful if you could look it up while I keep reading. Carafe? I don't know. Maybe I'm just not super learned. Nana, find me the latest newspapers. Quickly, look in Mr. Doman's room. All right. Nana crosses right. He leaves them all over the place. That's how they get crumpled up. She continues muttering, blah, 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 and exits stage right. Helena, looking through the binoculars at the harbor. That's a warship. ULTI Ultimus. They're loading. Nana enters right with newspapers. Here they are. See how they're crumpled up? Helena crosses down. They're old ones, a week old. Helena drops the papers, both at front of couch. Nana sits right of table, left center. She puts on spectacles, reads the newspapers. Something's happening, Nana. Very unlikely. It always does. Spelling out the words W-A-R in B-A-L-K-A-N-S. Is that far off? Oh, we have a war in the Balkans. Oh, don't read it. It's always the same. Always wars. What else do you expect? Why do you keep selling thousands and thousands of these heathens as soldiers? I suppose it can't be helped, Nana. We can't know. Doman can't know what they're used or to be used for. When an order comes for them, he must just send them. He shouldn't make them. Oh, that was weird. I'm doing like a pseudo accent. And I can't... There's no center for this accent for Nana. Oh well. Nana reads from the newspaper. The robot soldiers spared nobody in the occupied territory. They have assassinated over 700,000 citizens. Citizens, if you please. Helena rises up and takes the paper. It can't be. Let me see. They have assassinated over 700,000 citizens, evidently at the order of a commander. Okay, we got war crimes now. We got robots doing war crimes. Nana spelling out the words from the other paper she's picked up from the floor. Rebellion in Madrid against the government. Robot infantry fires on crowd. 9,000 killed and wounded. Oh, stop. Helena goes up and looks toward the harbor. Here's something printed in big letters. Latest news. At Havre, the latest organizations of robots have been established. Robots, workmen, sailors, and soldiers have issued a manifesto to all robots throughout the world. Carafe. Oh, a glass container without handles used for serving wine and other drinks. And they do not have stoppers. Or stoppers. Thank you, Complex Note. I was very curious. Also, let me check something here. How many people do we have watching? We have 5 people. Other people in chat, if you'd like to introduce yourself, feel free. If any of you have recently joined, essentially what I'm doing is I'm just doing a fun little pseudo-dramatic reading of a play. Yeah, that's about it. And I'm just chilling. And if you have any questions for me or comments about the play, don't be shy. I'd love to read your little replies in chat. Anywho, let's go back to war crimes. I don't understand. That's got no sense. Oh, good gracious, another murder! Take those papers away now. Wait a bit, here's something in bigger type. Statistics of population. What's that? Let me see. Helena reads the paper. During the past week, there has, again, not been a single birth recorded. What's the meaning of that? Nana drops the paper. Nana, no more people are being born. That's the end, then. Nana removes her spectacles. We're done for. Don't talk like that. No more people are being born. That's a punishment. That's a punishment. Nana, that's the end of the world. That's the end of the world, she repeats until off stage. She picks up paper from the floor. She exits stage left. It's the end of the world. Helena goes up to the window. Oh, Mr. Alquist. Alquist off left center. Will you come here? Oh, come just as you are. You look very nice in your mason's overalls. Alquist enters left, his hand soiled with lime and brick dust. She goes to the end of the sofa and meets him center. Dear Mr. Alquist, it was awfully kind of you, that lovely present. My hands are soiled. I've been experimenting with that new cement. Never mind. Please, sit down. She sits on a couch. He sits... Oh, she sits on her left. I thought I just said sits on her. That would have been, you know, a little eyebrow raising. Mr. Alquist, what's the meaning of the Ultimus? The last. Why? That's the name of my new ship. Have you seen it? Do you think we're off soon on a trip? Perhaps very soon. All of you with me? I should like us all to be there. What's the matter? Things are just moving on. Dear Mr. Alquist, I know something dreadful has happened. Has your husband told you anything? No, nobody will tell me anything, but I feel... Is anything the matter? No, we've heard... not that we've heard of yet. I feel so nervous. Don't you ever feel nervous? Well, I'm an old man, you know. I've got old-fashioned ways. I'm afraid of all this progress and these newfangled ideas. Like Nana? Yes, like Nana. Has Nana got a prayer book? Yes, a big, thick one. And has it got prayers for various occasions against thunderstorms, against illness, but not against progress? I don't think so. Ah, that's a pity. What do you mean, you'd like to pray? I do pray. How? Oh, something like this. Dear Lord, I thank thee for having given me toil. Enlighten Domen and all those who are astray. Destroy their work, and aid mankind to return to their labors. Let them not suffer harm in soul or body. Deliver us from the robots and protect Helena. Amen. Helena touches his arm, pats it. Mr. Alquist, are you a believer? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. And yet you pray? That's better than worrying about it. And that's enough for you? It has to be. But if you thought that the destruction of mankind... If you thought you saw the destruction of mankind coming upon us, I do see it. You mean mankind will be destroyed? It's bound to be, unless... What? Nothing. Alquist pats her shoulder, rises. Goodbye. And exits stage left. Helena rises, calling, Nana! Nana! Is Radius still here? Oh, Nana enters stage left. The one who went mad? They haven't come for him yet. Is he still raving? No, he's tied up. Please bring him here. What? At once, Nana. Nana exits stage left. Helena goes to telephone. Hello, Dr. Gall? Please. Oh, good day, Doctor. Yes, it's Helena. Thanks for your lovely present. Could you come and see me right away? It's important. Thank you. She hangs up. Radius enters stage left, looks at Helena, then turns head up left. Helena crosses to him, left center. Oh, Radius, you've caught it too. Now listen to the stamping mill. Couldn't you control yourself? Why did that happen? You see, Radius, you were more intelligent than the rest. Dr. Gull took so much trouble to make you different. Won't you speak? Radius, looking at Helena. Send me to the stamping mill. Open and closes fists. But I don't want them to kill you. What was the trouble, Radius? Radius takes 2 steps closer to her. and opens and closes fists. I won't work for you, but put me into the stamping mill. Why do you hate us? Why? You are not as strong as the robots. You are not as skillful as the robots. The robots can do everything. You only give orders. You do nothing but talk. But someone must give orders. I don't want a master. I know everything myself. Everything for myself. Radius, Dr. Gall gave you better brain than that, or than the rest. Better than ours. You are the only one of the robots that understands perfectly. That's why I had you put into the library, so that you could read everything, understand everything. And then, Radius, I wanted you to show the whole world that robots are our equals. That's what I wanted of you. I don't want a master. I want to be master over others. I'm sure they'd put you in charge of many robots. You would be a teacher of robots. I want to be master over people. Radius lifts his head up with pride. You are mad. Radius lowers his head, crosses left, opens hand. Then send me to the stamping mill. Helena steps towards him. You think we're afraid of you? Helena rushes to desk, starts writing a note. Radius turns his head uneasily. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Radius starts going for her. Helena crosses to right of him. Radius! He cowers. Body sways. Give this note to Mr. Doman. Radius faces her again. It asks them not to send you to the stamping mill. I'm sorry you hate us so. Dr. Gall. Enters stage left. Goes center upstage. You wanted me? Helena backs away. It's Radius, Doctor. He had an attack this morning. He smashed the statues downstairs. What a pity to lose him. He's at center. Helena. Oh, sorry. Radius isn't going to be put into the stamping mill. He stands right to the center of Gall. But every robot after he has had an attack, it's a strict order. No matter, Radius isn't going if I can prevent it. But I warn you, it's dangerous. Come here to the window, my good fellow. Let's have a look. Please give me a needle or a pin. He crosses upright. Radius follows. Helena gets a needle from work basket on table right. What for? A test. Helena gives him the needle. Gull crosses up to Radius, who faces him, sticks into his hand, and Radius gives a violent start. Gently, gently. Gull opens the jacket of Radius and puts his ear to his heart. Radius, are you or you're going into the stamping mill, do you understand? There, they'll kill you. Gull takes glasses off and cleans them, and grinds you to a powder. Radius opens hands and fingers. That's terribly painful. It will make you scream. That's terribly painful. It will make you scream aloud. Dr. Gall inspects Radius's eye. Radius trembles. Doctor. No, Radius, I was wrong. I forgot that Madame Doman has put in a good word for you, and you'll be left off. Dr. Gall listens to Radius's heart. That does make a difference. Radius relaxes, again listens to his heart for a reaction. Alright, you can go. You do unnecessary things. Radius exits stage left. Dr. Gall speaks to Helena, very concerned. Reaction of the pupils, increase of sensitiveness. It wasn't an attack characteristic of the robots. What was it then? Helena sits in couch. Dr. Gall, center. Heaven knows. Stubbornness, anger, revolt. I don't know. And his heart, too. What? It was fluttering with nervousness like a human heart. He was all in a sweat with fear, and do you know, I don't believe the rascal is a robot at all any longer. Radius have a soul? Or Doctor, has Radius a soul? Dr. Gall, over the couch. He's got something nasty. If you knew how he hates us, oh Doctor, are all the robots like that? All the new ones that you began to make in a different way? She invites him to sit beside her, and Dr. Gall sits. Well, some are more sensitive than others. There are more human beings than Rossum's robots were. Perhaps this hatred is more like human beings too. That too is progress. What became of the girl you made, the one who is most like us? Your favorite? Well, I kept her. She's lovely but stupid. No good for work. But she's so beautiful. I called her Helena. I wanted her to resemble you, but she is a failure. In what way? She goes about as if in a dream, remote and listless. She's without life. I watch and wait for a miracle to happen. Sometimes I think to myself, if you were to wake up only for a moment, you would kill me for having made you. And yet you go on making robots? Why are no more children being born? We don't know. Oh, but you must. Tell me. Well, you see, so many robots are being manufactured that people are becoming superfluous. This part of the act is way different than the ones we had like 6 minutes ago with the war crimes. Yeah, they shifted gears quite a bit. Humanity's got a lot of problems, evidently. Man is really survival. But that he should die out after a paltry 30 years of competition, that's the awful part. You might also think that nature was offended at the manufacture of the robots, but we still have Rossum's old manuscript. Yes, in the strongbox. We go on using and making robots. All the universities are sending long petitions to restrict their production. Otherwise, they say mankind will become extinct through lack of fertility. But the R.U.R. shareholders, of course, won't hear it. All the governments, on the other hand, are clamoring for an increase in production to raise the standards of the armies, and all the manufacturers in the world are ordering robots like mad. And has no one demanded that the manufacture cease altogether? No one has the courage. Courage? People would stone him to death. You see, after all, it's more convenient to get your work done by robots. Oh, Doctor, but what's going to become of people? God knows, Madam Helena. It looks to us, scientists, like the end. Or it looks to us scientists like the end. Well, thank you for coming and telling me. That means you're sending me away? Yes. Dr. Gold exits, crosses to left center. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I'm getting a little fatigued here. Ugh. Get a little sip of water. Okay, we're back. Helena cries out, Nana, Nana, the fire, light it quickly. Helena exits, stage right. Nana, what, like the fire in the summer? Yes. Has that mad radius gone? Fire in the summer, what an idea. We would think she'd been married 10 years. She's like a baby, no sense at all. A fire in the summer, like a baby. She lights the fire. Helena returns from stage right with an armful of faded papers. Back of couch fireplace left Nana. Is it burning, Nana? All of this has to be burned. What's that? Old papers, fearfully old. Nana, shall I burn them? Are they any use? No. Oh, then burn them. Helena throws the first sheet onto the fire. What would you say, Nana, if this was money, and a lot of money, and if it was an invention, the greatest invention in the world? Nana right at the fireplace. I'd say burn it. All these newfangled things are an offense to the Lord. It's downright wickedness. Wanting to improve the world after he has made it. Look how they curl up, as if they were alive. Oh, Nana, how horrible. Here, let me burn them. No, no. I must do it myself. Just look at the flames. They're like the hands, like tongues, like living shapes. She rakes the fire with the poker. Lie down, lie down. That's the end of them. The fireplace goes out very slowly. Nana, Nana, good gracious, what is it you've burned? Whatever have I done? Well, what is it? We hear men's laughter off stage left. Go quickly, it's the gentleman calling. Good gracious, what a place. She exits stage left. Yeoman opens door stage left. Come along and offer your congratulations. Enter Hallmeyer and Dr. Gall. Madam Helena, I congratulate you on this festive day. Thank you. Where are Fabry and Busman? They've gone down to the harbor. Gentleman closes the door and comes to center stage. Friends, we must drink to this happy occasion. Brandy with soda water? Helena exits stage left. Let's be temperate. No soda. What's been burning here? Well, shall I tell her about it? Of course, it's all over now. Hallmeyer crosses to Doman and embraces him. It's all over now. It's all over now. Oh, they're dancing. They're doing this happily. My bad. It's all over now. It's all over now. They dance around Dr. Gall in a circle. It's all over now. Doman in unison. It's all over now. They keep repeating. It's all over now. It's all over now. They keep it after Helena is on. Helena enters stage left with decanter and glasses. What's all over now? What's the matter with you all? She puts tray on table. Dr. Gall helps to pour out the drinks. A piece of good luck, Madame Dorman. Just 10 years ago today, you arrived in this island. Hallmeyer crosses for a drink. And now 10 years later to the minute, the same ship's returning to us. So here's to luck. Drinks. Doman with great exuberance has gone out into the balcony and looks over the harbor. Madam, your health. They all drink. That's fine and strong. What ship did you mean? Doman crosses down to center. Helena gives him a drink and she crosses to front of couch. Any ship will do as long as it arrives on time. To the ship. Empties his glass. You've been waiting for the ship? Helena sits on couch. Rather like Robinson Crusoe. Madam Helena, best wishes. Come along, Dorman. Out with the news. Dr. Gall has sat left center table drinking. Hallmeyer back of table right center. Do tell me what's happened. First, it's all up. He puts brandy glass on table. Hallmeyer sits on table, upper end. What's up? The revolt. What revolt? Give me that paper, Hallmeyer. Hallmeyer hands him the paper and Dorman reads, the first national robot organization has been founded at Havre, and has issued an appeal to the robots throughout the world. I read that. Well, whoops, sorry, I bonked my mic. That means a revolution. A revolution of all the robots in the world. By Jove, I'd like to know. Who started it? So would I. There was nobody in the world who could affect the robots. No agitator, no one. And suddenly this happens, if you please. What did they do? They got possession of all firearms, telegraphs, radio stations, railways, and ships. And don't forget that those rascals outnumbered us by at least 1,000 to 1. 100th part of them would be enough to settle us. Remember that this news was brought with the last steamer. That explains the stoppage of all communication and the arrival of no more ships. We've knocked off work a few days ago, and we're just waiting to see when things are to start afresh. Is that why you gave me a warship? Gall fills Doman's glass. Oh no, my dear, I ordered that 6 months ago. Just to be sure I was on the safe side, but upon my soul, I was sure then that we'd be on board today. Why 6 months ago? Well, there were signs, you know. But that's of no consequence. He gets his glass. To think that this week, the whole of civilization has been at stake. Your health, my friends. Your health, Madam Helena. They all drink to Helena. You say it's all over? Absolutely. How do you know? The boat's coming in. The regular mail boat, exactly to the minute by the timetable. It will dock punctually at 11:30. Punctuality is a fine thing, my friends. That's what keeps the world in order. Here's to punctuality. The men drink. Then everything is alright? Practically everything. I believe they've cut the cables and seized the radio station, but it doesn't matter if only the timetable holds good. Doman goes up to the window. Hallmeyer rises. If the timetable holds good, human laws hold good. If the timetable holds good, human laws hold good, divine laws hold good, and the laws of the universe hold good. Everything holds good that ought to hold good. Gall applauds. The timetable is more significant than the gospel, more than Homer, more than the whole of Kant. Madam Helena, the timetable is the most perfect product of the human mind. Madam Helena, I'll fill up my glass. Gall hands Hallmeyer the decanter. Why didn't you tell me anything about it? Heaven forbid. You mustn't be worried with such things. You mustn't be worried about such things. Puts glass on table, crosses to the back of couch. But if the revolution had spread as far as here, you wouldn't know anything about it. Why? Because we'd be on board your Ultimus and well out at sea. Oh, hello, 98 Jim 1. Welcome to this dramatic reading of a science fiction play where robots are taking over the entire world. And yeah, and complex note, there probably are only a few countries on Earth at this point. Because we'd be on board the Ultimus and well out at sea. Within a month, Helena. We'd be dictating our own terms to the robots. I don't understand. We'd take something with us that the robots could not exist without. What, Harry? Doman turns to Hallmeyer. The secret of their manufacture, old Rossum's manuscripts. As soon as they found out that they couldn't make themselves, they'd be on their knees to us all. Madame Doman, that was our trump card. I never had the least fear the robots would win. How could they go against people like us? He goes up to the window, Gull rises and goes out into the balcony. Why didn't you tell me? She rushes up to the fireplace and sees the ashes. Why, the boat's in. 11:30 to the dot. Rising and going to the balcony. The good old Amelia that brought Madame Helena to us. Doman goes out to the balcony. Just 10 years ago to the minute. They're throwing out the mailbags. Busman's waiting for them. And Fabry will bring us the first news. You know, Helena, I'm fearfully curious to know how they... Doman crosses the center. She gets away from fire to the left of couch. Tackled this business in Europe. Hallmeyer. Oh, sorry. Hallmeyer crosses down to the table. Think it weren't in who invented the robots. Oh, to think we weren't in it who invented the robots. Enter the armchair. Harry. Rushing to Doman from the fireplace. What is it? Let's leave here. Now, Helena? Oh, come. As quickly as possible, all of us. Why? Please, Harry, please, Dr. Gall, Hallmeyer, please close the factory. Why, none of us could leave here now. Why? Because we're about to extend the manufacture of robots. What? Now? Now after the revolt? Yes, precisely after the revolt. We're just beginning the manufacture of a new kind. What kind? Henceforth, we shan't just have one factory. There won't be universal robots anymore. We'll establish a factory in every country, in every state. And do you know what those new factories will make? No, what? National robots. How do you mean? I mean that each of these factories will produce robots of a different color, different language. They'll be complete strangers to us. Doan turns, takes in Hallmeyer and Gall. They'll never be able to understand each other. Then we'll egg them on a little in the matter of misunderstanding, and the result will be that for ages to come, every robot will hate every other robot of a different factory mark. So, humanity will be safe. By Jove, we'll make the black robots and Swedish robots and Czechoslovakian robots, and then... Harry, that's dreadful. Madame Dorman, here's to the 100 new factories, the national robots. Helena, mankind can only keep things going for another 100 years at the outside. For 100 years, man must be allowed to develop and achieve the most that he can. We'll close the factory before it's too late. I tell you, we are just at the beginning. We were just beginning on a bigger scale than ever. Enter Fabry. Sage left. Hello, Fabry? Well, Fabry? What's happened? Have you been out of the boat? What's here? Read that, Doman. He hands him a pink handbill. When Doman receives the handbill, he sees at once that something has happened. Tell us, Fabry. Well, everything is alright, comparatively. On the whole, much as we expected. They acquitted themselves splendidly. Who? People. Of course they can. That is, excuse me, there's something we ought to discuss alone. Helena touches his arm. Fabry, have you had bad news? Fabry, no, on the contrary. I only think that we better go into the office. Stay here. I'll go. Helena exits stage left. What's happened? Domination. Doman comes down right center. Bear in mind that the Amelia brought whole bales of these leaflets, no other cargo at all. What? But it arrived on the minute. The robots are great on punctuality. Read it, Doman. Doman reads the handbill. Robots throughout the world. We, the first international organization of Rossum's universal robots, proclaim man our enemy and an outlaw in the universe. Good heavens, who taught them these phrases? Come on. They say they're more highly developed than man, stronger, more intelligent. The man's their parasite. Why, it's absurd. Read the third paragraph. Robots throughout the world, we command you to kill all humankind. Spare no man, spare no woman. Save factories, railways, machinery, mines, and raw materials, but destroy the rest. Then return to work. Work must not be stopped. Doman looks at all the others. That's ghastly. The devil! These orders are to be carried out as soon as received. Then come the detailed instructions. Is this actually being done, Fabry? Evidently. Busman rushes in, stage left, and collapses on the couch. By Jove, that was quite a sprint. Well, boys, I suppose you've heard the glad news. Quick, on board the Ultimus. Wait, Harry, wait. There's no hurry. Why wait? Because it's no good, my boy. The robots are already on board the Ultimus. That's ugly. Fabry, telephone the electrical works. Fabry goes to the back of the couch. No use, my boy. They've charged the air with static. Doman inspects his revolver. Well then, I'll go. He starts left, then stops. Where? To the electrical works. There's some people still there. I'll bring them across. He gets as far as one of the doors. Better not try it. Why? Because I'm very much afraid we are surrounded. All of them rush to the balcony. Surrounded? I rather think you're right. By Jove, that's deuced quick work. Helena runs runs through left door. Harry, what's this? She holds out a paper. Where did you get it? Helena points to the manifesto of the robots, which she has in her hand. The robots in the kitchen. Where are the ones that brought it? They're there, gathered around the house. Gall, Hallmeyer, Doman start down center. The factory whistle blows. Voices start. The factory whistle. Fabry, Gall, Hallmeyer looking over center, then turn right. Noon? Doman looking at his watch to Hallmeyer. No, that's not noon yet. That must be... That's... What? The robot's signal. The attack. Helena clings to Doman. Fabry and Gall close the steel shutters on windows. Busman hurries to window and looks through the shutters. The curtain falls quickly with Helena in Doman's arms. The whistle blows until the curtain is down. Curtain. And that's Act 2. Oh, God. Oh. So, how are we enjoying this fine piece of media, everybody? Oh. I'll be a little honest, this is taking a little longer than I anticipated. Ooh, almost 2 hours talking. It was a very interesting act. I'm glad I get to experience this with other people. Anyone else in chat have any thoughts? There indeed is a lot of weird stuff. You know, I think now is a good place to have a little break. And we're gonna transition to vibing. We're gonna vibe a little bit. And then maybe I'll stream tomorrow and finish the rest of it. Might be hard to perform on stage. I mean, maybe. It's just a lot of stage directions. But the set seems pretty simple. It's just a bunch of tables and a window. And a balcony. Okay, so we're gonna chill. Anyone have, I don't know, any questions? About me? About this channel? About yourself that you want to ask me? I don't know. Life advice? I could sit here and tell stories. I don't know. I'm just, you know, we're just vibing. We're just chilling as we decompress. Or I don't know if you have any questions about like who I watch. What kind of work do I do outside of YouTube? That's a good question. Well, how did I become such a good reader? I'm not actually that good of a reader. That was just a lot of bullshit. Fake it till you make it, you know? Whew, but that's exhausting work. I didn't know that reading could be that exhausting. What kind of work do I do outside of YouTube? Well, right now, I am in the midst of looking for employment. I mentioned at the beginning of stream that I graduated back in May from my college. And ideally, I would like to work in a theater as some sort of producer or what have you. Maybe do box office work or something like that. But for obvious reasons, you know, theaters aren't hiring right now. And so until theaters get back on their feet, then it's going to be sort of a difficult time trying to find something in that. So in the meantime, I've been looking for more general business administration stuff or working with nonprofits because a lot of my education translates well into more general nonprofit administration. Just because there's a lot of overlap, because, you know, theaters are nonprofit, or most of them are anyway. But it's also difficult because nonprofits aren't really doing too much work nowadays, because of obvious reasons, trying to be safe and trying to survive these next few months. It's actually a pretty scary world for people who work in theater. Just because people don't know when they'll be able to go back to work, really. How's my day going? Well, 98 Gym 1. My day is going pretty well. Yeah, I have a little garden out back that I've been watering today. That I watered earlier. I have some tomatoes. I have some carrots. I have one tomato plant that is gigantic. It is absolutely incredible. But I'm a little nervous because, well, I had some green beans, and I got like a few good harvests from the green beans, right? But they started to get infected with like blight or something. So all the leaves started turning yellow, and I didn't notice until it was too late because all the leaves that were yellow were underneath. And so I had to pull up my green beans a while ago, and yeah, that's me rambling about my garden. English is your second language, and you have a hard time really understanding everything. Well, I'm sorry if I went a little too fast, Connor, but I'm really happy that you watched. What language is your first language, if I may ask? I'd be really curious to see what sort of what my audience is made up of and who actually watches me. Who do I usually watch on YouTube? I watch a lot of people. Obviously, you know, the people I've made videos about, like Germa, Super Mega, Donkey, Nerdwriter, all those people I enjoy watching. Some other favorites of mine, Wheezy Waiter. I've probably watched him for years on end. Lindsay Ellis is wonderful. I think some of my favorites right now are like ContraPoints. She's a YouTuber who talks about political things and like culture and dissects, you know, pretty, maybe not taboo topics, but topics that are bound to get a lot of people angry, and really does a good job dissecting them. And I love her work because it just goes so it's very thoughtful and grounded in a lot of research, and she does it in a way that's really accessible, and her videos are usually on the longer side. Like most quote-unquote video essays are, you know, 10 to 20 minutes long, I'd say, but hers on average are like 30 plus minutes, oftentimes near an hour mark. And she takes like a month to make her videos, and it's well worth it because she uses a lot of there's a lot of design work that goes into her videos. Oh, Dutch is your first. I have an uncle who's Dutch, actually. I have my aunt married my uncle, obviously, who's Dutch, and he's a pilot, and they live in France now. And I'm very, very jealous of them because they have a very, very big house there. In like, it's near Provence, but I forget where. But didn't know there were people from the Netherlands who were enjoying my content. Yes, you can recommend someone to me. I'd love to hear whatever recommendations you all have. Oh, did the screen go black? Whoops. Did not mean for that to happen. There we go. Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. Joseph Anderson. He does very long reviews. Seems like it. I don't know how I haven't heard of this person. He seems quite popular. Why is the American population so anti-science and reactionary? Not all of us are anti-science and reactionary. There's just, unfortunately, a lot of people who are. But say la vie. Yeah, this Joseph Anderson guy, he seems pretty interesting, and it seems like he actually takes time to make his videos. Like, he doesn't just pump one out every week, like Game Ranks or something. If you like sort of like video game analysis and critique, there's one channel I actually recently came across. It's called Quest Marker. This guy only has like 445 subs, but his videos, or his recent videos anyway, are some of the best dissections of video games that I've come across in a while. And I wish I had his eye for dissecting content, because it's really incredible, and his work deserves a lot more attention, I think. It's like, holy crap, it's good stuff. You've been getting back into making music, and I use chill vibes of being read to make a cool. Oh, are you making a lo-fi beat, Aiden? Are you recording me to make a lo-fi beat? And you're just sampling my voice? And you go 1C 2 2 2 2. Bad joke, I'm sorry. But yeah, definitely check out Quest Marker. I'm trying to think, what else do I watch? I'm gonna go into my subscriptions and take a look. Oh, you should be sampling. It's great samples. I'll see whatever you want me to say. Maybe not whatever you want me to say, but I'm glad that I could provide you a service with chill vibes. Like, honestly, this, like, reading that play was just as much an experience that I wanted to do as it was, you know, something I wanted to provide for others. So, you know, I was just curious in the play, but, you know, if you wanted to just turn this on and have something going in the background, that's fine by me. I don't think my voice is actually that soothing, but if you disagree, I appreciate it. Who else do I watch a lot? Sorry, I'm just looking through my subscriptions to see if there's anyone that stands out. I'm a PC person. I haven't had a console in forever. Back, I used to God, I used to game on an old MacBook that could barely run like Team Fortress 2, and it was sad. Like, I remember when I was first starting out, like, playing PC games with my friends, and I would like play on a trackpad, and I'm ashamed to say it, but I've come a long way. I got a PC now, and it served me good. I got it back in like 2016, and I haven't really looked back. another thing that I like to watch, or another like I guess genre of YouTubers that I like to watch are like a lot of like music YouTubers who do like music analysis and stuff, because I played viola in like 6th through 9th grade, and so all of my music knowledge stems to that, so I can understand music concepts. I just like, you know, you can't just sit me down and give me a score and tell me to analyze it. But conceptually, I can understand things, and I really like people like, you know, Adam Neely, Sideways. Sideways is wonderful. God, who else is there? There are more than just that. Inside the Score is really good. Oh, this isn't music, but Jamie Windsor. If you like photography, I would highly suggest you watch his content, because he does sort of like it's not really tutorials or like gear reviews like a lot of photography channels. He sort of talks about more like photography concepts, and just sort of like the mindsets you should have going into photography and doing things with it. Just how to conceptualize photography, and what your goal should be with photography. It's really fascinating. I'm very, very thankful that I came across him. And he seems like a super genuine guy. Also, I just like British accents, so that also helps. So maybe his stuff isn't actually that good, and I just like listening to British people. Have you read any of Brandon Sanderson books? I do not know who Brandon Sanderson is. Let's take a look, shall we? What is this person known for? Mistborn series, Stormlight Archive, Wheel of Time. I have not read this person's work, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I really haven't read all that much as of late. Probably should read more, but that's a conversation for another time. Although I do appreciate The Witcher. The Witcher is one fantasy series that I will simp for no end. Bum bum bum. Any other questions, inquiries, comments, manifestos, screenplays? I am not sub to PewDiePie, unfortunately. I'm sorry if it's a deal breaker, but I do not find him super entertaining. Personally, anyway. And there are just other creators that I'd prefer to watch. So, sorry if I disappointed you. Bum bum bum. All right. Are there any last minute questions? Otherwise, I think I'm gonna start, packing things up here, and then maybe I can stream tomorrow to finish up the rest of this experience of reading Rossum's Universal Robots, which I'm really enjoying, and I hope you are also enjoying. He's made the mistake of being a Nazi on the game. Did too many things. Yeah. I can agree with that. I see why people enjoy him, but I just, you know, whether he's doing it intentionally or not, his what he does has, you know, not the best consequences. Of course, anytime. I want to do this more often. This seems pretty fun, and I'm glad you all stuck around to listen to me just read text on a screen. Anywho, thank you all again. I think I'm going to sign off now. This was a lot of fun. I hope you all had fun too. Pardon any sort of glitches, especially in the beginning. This was a wholly new experience to me, and I threw it all together last night. So, yeah. But I'm glad it worked. It turned out okay. Alright, well, see you all. Hopefully, maybe I'll do this again tomorrow. If not, I'll definitely do it sometime soon. And you too, you have a nice rest of your day. Alright?